Kamen Rider.
Decay, 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 no!
Hi guys, and for today's video, I'm going to give you my review for Kamen Rider Gavv, episode 11. Without further ado, let's begin with a review. Okay, so the episode opens up with Shoma at a sushi restaurant, trying sushi for this first time. And of course, in silly fashion, Shoma enjoys the sushi. And he really enjoys the sushi, so he opens up his little journal that he has all his sweets and all the foods that he's eaten, and he crosses it off the list. And we see Shoma hears a conversation with these two women, and one of the women is actually, talking about how, she really loves this guy that she met online, and, like, her sister's like, I don't know, you barely know this guy, and is he even real? Is this guy even, like, the real deal? And Shoma's like, shows up to these two women. It's like, hey, we can help. Here's the business card for the handyman workplace I work for. Make sure to come give us a call or just stop on by so we can help you with your problem. And then we cut to Shoma at the handyman workplace, and Sachiki's there. And so Shoma and Sachiki are trying to solve these two women's problem about one of the women's apparently boyfriend, and apparently they look at the guy's profile and it's Hanto, but of course they don't know if it's Hanto. Of course the woman that's thinks Hanto's her boyfriend that she's been talking to, she really likes him, but it turns out Sachiki suggests that why don't they call Hanto, see if that's him on the profile. And so they eventually tried to call him, but Sean was like, okay, should we call him? And Sachiki's like, well, let's give it a try. And then we eventually cut to the main villain's lair, Stomach Inc., and we get to see Longo, one of our main villains, firing Sheeta and Jeep. That's the two female twin villains, or look-alike villains. And Sheeta and Jeep are like, you can't fire us. Like, we devoted our efforts to the company, and we tried our best to stop the red Gavv. And then Longo's like, I do not care. You two failed me, and you two are fired. You know your punishment. Therefore, you two are fired. Get out of my sight. And so Sheeta and Jeep are disappointed, but eventually Longo's like, okay, if you can do this one more time, I won't separate you two, but you're gonna have to pay me in return. And so they they eventually okay, we'll do that. And Longo's gives us an evil smile. Then we cut back to the handyman workplace, and Sachiki, Shoma, and the two women are waiting on Hanto, and eventually Hanto shows up. And then the other woman is the woman that's in love is finally meeting her supposed lover, and then we get to see Hanto's like, I don't know this woman. And as he sees the woman's phone, he's like, obviously this is a fake guy using my a picture as a dating profile, so it's not me. And eventually the woman's disappointed. The sister's like, I knew it. And Sachiki and Shoma's like, well, that's kind of sad. And so that one woman, that was in love, got her heart broken. And so she eventually is like, this can't be true. And so Hanto's like, well, I'm out. I got important things to do. And then we see, that happens. And then we cut back to, Sachiki and Shoma are talking. They're just talking about the whole situation, and that how, they can still help, the woman out on this case, or could, maybe they could catch, essentially the catfish, or essentially they're going to try to catch the catfish, essentially. And so they're going to do that. And eventually, we got to, the woman that's, saddened that, apparently she's been catfished. And apparently, she gets a second chance because the guy that the catfisher is texting her again saying, hey, let's meet up. And so they eventually meet up at, the apartment. Eventually, turns out, it was a Granute that's the catfisher. So the Granute catches the woman. And then we cut to, the woman's sister and Sachiki at a restaurant. They eventually meet Hanto, or at least they think it's Hanto. And so the fake Hanto, leaves, and then they're eventually catching up to him, catching to the fake Hanto. But it turns out it's another Granute in disguise. And then we get to see, Shoma's, trying to, look for, the girl the woman that's been, heartbroken, or at least, been heartbroken by the catfisher. And we get to see, another, mysterious boy shows up, and it turns out the mysterious boy turns out to be a Granute, and he captured, the woman, that woman. And we eventually, find out that Longo's there too. Longo, along with his agents, are there, along with the Granute. And so, Longo explains that, we this time will defeat you, but also I managed to fire Shita and Jeep. And Shoma's like, you fired them? Why? And then Longo's like, isn't it obvious? It's your fault because you keep getting in our way and you keep stopping our operation. So I had to fire them because they were the link. And so they were weak and they were the weakest link. So that's why I fired them. And so, Shoma's all pissed off. And Shoma transforms into his Kamen Rider form. Eventually fights the Granute and the agents. Longo's watching the fight. But eventually Longo has to go back to the hideout, or Stomach Inc. lair, or whatever you want to call it. And eventually see Shoma trying to fight the Granute. But the Granute's like, I don't got time for this. And so the Granute, attacks Shoma, then disappears. And eventually Shoma's, trying to fight the Longo's agents. And then we got to see the Granute's wreaking havoc. And we see the real Hanto shows up. And Hanto sees the Granute, so Hanto transforms. And Hanto tries his best to fight off the Granute. And we see Hanto, doing his best to stop the Granute. But the Granute's very strong because, the Granute's stronger. And we cut to Shoma. He's using his weapons to, try to destroy the agents. And eventually his weapons doesn't work. So Shoma uses his Girl Ken form. That's essentially his Candy Hulkbuster-like form. And so we see Shoma using his sort of ATV Candy Gatling gun machine to, destroy the agents. And we get to see, Shoma's like, I gotta go save the woman and find, maybe find, Valen or Hanto. And so we see Hanto's, struggling to fight the Granute, but eventually Hanto, eventually saves the woman by grabbing the woman, and eventually, gives it to, Shoma, and then we get to see Shoma freeing the woman, and the woman's scared at first, and then Shoma's like, look, get out of here, and so the woman, gets out of there, and we get to see Hanto, tries his best to defeat the Granute, but it's not working, and eventually, Hanto uses his attack, and eventually Shoma uses his sword attack, his sword weapon to, destroy the Granute. But of course the Granute gets one last attack at Hanto. And we get to see Hanto, gets blasted and de-transforms. And thus Shoma learns that Kamen Rider Valen is Hanto. And thus the episode ends off there. And overall, what are my thoughts on episode 11? Episode 11 was pretty good. The subplot with the whole catfishing thing was okay, it was alright, but it was good to see, Hanto and, Shoma interacting. You get to see, Shoma, doing more for, Sachiki and, the handyman workplace, and Shoma just, doing regular day life. But also it's good to see, Shoma, getting, that whole, trying to, be good to the public, and even though the public sees him as another monster, Shoma's trying his best, save people and, be good to the people. But also it's good to see Shoma finally learning, Hanto's identity, and learning that Kamen Rider Valen is Hanto. And it's good to see, Hanto's identity get revealed. And in episode 12, we're going to find out, Shoma and Hanto's relationship and how they're going to fully work together as a team. And, Shoma, try to maybe reveal his identity to Hanto in the next episode. But we'll talk about the next episode soon. But overall, that's going to be it for my review for episode 11. Overall, episode 11 was pretty good and solid. But yeah, overall, that's going to be it for my review. I hope you guys like and enjoy my review for Kamen Rider Gavv episode 11. And stay tuned for more videos on the channel. Stay tuned for more Tokusatsu videos and more Transformers videos and more non-Tokusatsu videos on the channel. And stay tuned for my review for Kamen Rider Gavv episode 12 and 13. So stay tuned for that. and stay tuned for more upcoming videos on the channel. And yeah, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing to the channel, you'd be really supporting me as a content creator and really supporting the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.